Alright, so this is going to be a review of Star Wars Deathtroopers. This novel came out about 2009, I want to say, and in short, really, it's zombies in the Star Wars universe. What more could you ask for? It's literally the first time we had zombies make their way into the Star Wars universe. And is it good? Yeah, it's really good. This is also like the first time that Star Wars, well, the first time in a long time since that Goosebumps parody type thing happened. Yeah, for those who remember, there was a series of books called Star Wars Galaxy of Fear, which was supposed to be like a Goosebumps type storytelling in the Star Wars universe. In here, that one was more like Goosebumps level, where it kind of like it creeped you out, but it never really scared you. This one, however, this is a straight up horror novel. Deathtroopers is a straight up horror novel, and it is so unapologetic in that. Is it good? Yeah, it's good. But you have to understand that, you know, this is the first time we've actually seen, you know, this kind of supernatural, almost supernatural element kind of thrown into, well, I say supernatural, but we have had supernatural elements in the Star Wars universe, but this is the first time we've had the undead pretty much in this universe. Well, now that I think about it, we had the undead in Clone Wars with the Night Sisters. But yeah, this is like full-on zombies. In the other one with the Night Sisters, they were more like living, fighting creatures. In here, these are just like the shambling, walking undead in stormtrooper armor. So the story follows two brothers named Trig and Kale, Trig and Kale, who are arrested and put on this prison barge called the Purge. And the Purge is shut down, it's lost all of its power, and basically what's happened is that they've come across pretty much a derelict destroyer, a Star Destroyer called the Vector. And after hailing it a few times looking for help, they're like, well, we're just gonna board you, you know? And that's when they discover a virus called Blackwing, which literally kills and reanimates the dead. And we have a kind of a typical story. We kind of have we kind of have the whole zombie thing happening here. What's interesting though is that what they kind of allude to and what they do in the prequel book is that I guess it's not really spoiler because the prequel book is out. You know, it's been out for a while. Is that this was actually created by a Sith Lord by the name of Darth Scrapulus, who more or less synthesized this virus to basically create Sith warriors that could survive being killed, more or less. So we have that going for it. The characters of Trig and Kale, those are the two characters you mostly focus on, as well as another female doctor known as Zahara Cody, who you focus on them a lot. They are the main characters of this story. And for the most part, they're very likable. Zahara is a medical officer for the Empire, and, well, for the prison barge, or the Purge. And, yeah, she's very likable. She came from a rich background, but she wanted to help people, and more or less, after losing Trig and Kale's father to, failing to being unable to help him, she basically kind of, like, shuts down. She's like, I don't want to do this anymore. I can't save lives. I can no longer, be helpful to anyone. We also have another guy who's known as Jareth, the captain of the guards, and he is a total dick. That's all I can say. He is a total dick. I will also say this: that are you going to see other Star Wars characters from the main universe in here? Yes, but they don't show up until chapter 19. I don't want to say who they are, but when you see them, you're like, oh my god, they're here. I know the book's been out for a while, but I really don't want to spoil who shows up in this book. If you've read the book, then you probably know who I'm talking about. The two people in question. Yep, see? Gave you a little hint right there. What I like about this is that this is, we never really had horror in the Star Wars universe. That's not really an element you've seen, because it's always like this bright, action-packed kind of storytelling. And here, it very much feels like what Joe Schreiber was trying to do. Joe Schreiber, I cannot pronounce his last name, but yeah, what Schreiber was trying to do in here is make it feel like Alien, and I, honest to God, got the feeling of Alien in most places, because it really, like, some of the settings, it really does feel like he took notes from watching Alien, and as well as he also mentioned that he had a lot of inspiration from The Shining. You know, that kind of isolation, that kind of just out there, that paranoia. Because really, the dead really, you know, these dead are pretty much almost unstoppable. Like, it kind of follows the zombie rules of shoot them in the head, but they're wearing stormtrooper armor, so they're a little harder to take down. It's a very bloody comic as well, but here's the thing. Like I kind of said, because Joe Schreiber also wrote Darth Maul Lockdown, and I did a review of that. Like I said before, Schreiber probably has a knack for making gore in Star Wars universe, and yeah, that's something that's also another element we don't see, a lot of gore. And like I said about his Darth Maul Lockdown book, people die in here pretty awful. They die, some people just do not die well. Some people just do not, go out peacefully, and it's almost cringeworthy. Not to say it's bad, don't get me wrong, and not to say it's bad at all. But if you have a weak constitution towards blood and gore, whether it be comic or novel wise, like this book, then I would not recommend it. But if you are if you love yourself, if you love some gore and you love some violence and you love just watching everything just go to hell, then yeah, check this out. The characters you follow are very likable. They are very, you can relate to them. They've lost their father. They're on a barge where everyone wants to kill them, just for the sake of killing them, really. Because that's what it kind of boils down to on this prison barge, The Purge, is that all the inmates, and even the guards, are like, yeah, welcome to hell. Occupation, you. Well, yeah. That's really what it kind of boils down to in some cases, that some of these people are just evil. There are some good characters you root for. The main characters and the two Star Wars characters you do see later on in this book. But yeah, that's the thing. There are some horrible people in this book, and you really do like it when you see them die. And you kind of get this kind of satisfaction of watching them die. It's just kind of a sick satisfaction. Well, read them die. I can't really say watch, because this is a novel, not a comic book. But yeah, like I've said before, some people die and they die bad, and you can't help but feel, well, your ass deserved it. Yeah. So all in all, I think this is an absolutely fantastic book. Even though, it stays true to what Star Wars is, a fun, action-packed story, but it also delves into the horror element, which is, like I've said multiple times in this review, is something you don't see a lot of in the Star Wars universe. With Lockdown, with Darth Maul Lockdown, that was this gritty, bloody, kind of almost like Oz in space, like I called it once. In here, it's the closest we'll ever get to the walking trooper, more or less. That's really what we kind of amount to in this story. Again, not to say it's bad. No, not in the least. But I will say again, if you don't like gore, if you don't like seeing people die horribly, and that's abundant in this book, do not get this book. This book came out in 2009. I've seen it. I actually got it at Books A Million along with the Darth Maul novel as well. And I know there was the bigger printing, and I don't know where that is. But I got the smaller printing, which is, I believe, it was pretty much $8. So this is a cheap novel if you can find the smaller print. The smaller novelization of the book. It's a bit cheaper on that ground. So if you're willing, I think it was either $8 or $7. I don't have the books right over there, but I don't feel like getting up and looking for myself. But no, yeah, it was about $8. It was about $8. So yeah, once again, I highly recommend this novel if you love zombies, if you love Star Wars, if you love just horror in general, and you want to see that done in the Star Wars universe, then I say absolutely hell yeah. I cannot recommend this book enough. So, yeah, what more can I say about Star Wars Deathtroopers other than go check it out? You can actually probably, now that I think about it, you can probably find the audio readings of the book on YouTube. I've actually seen it a lot on YouTube, of the audiobook here on YouTube. It's about what, 2 hours long? No, even longer than that, I think. But yeah, if you don't want to, if you can't find it, or you don't want to shell out the money to find the book, you can always go to YouTube and listen to the audio reading of it. I just kind of prefer having the actual copy in my hand, though. But that's just me. Anyway, once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.